I remember the day I finally decided to leave. It wasn't just a decision. It was a scream in my chest, a desperate cry that I couldn't suppress anymore. My family's words echoed in my ears, every mocking laugh, every dismissive sneer telling me I was chasing a pipe dream, that I was foolish to believe I could make a life out of what they called a ridiculous obsession. They said I was an embarrassment, a failure waiting to happen, and honestly, for a long time, I believed them. Growing up in a small, dirt-poor town, I had this wild, impossible dream. To turn barren land into lush forests, to heal the earth that had been stripped bare by years of neglect. It sounds crazy, right? Everyone told me I was deluded. Nature's not for you, my father sneered. Dreams don't pay the bills. Get real. My brothers and sisters laughed, calling me a tree-hugging idiot, like I was some kind of spectacle. My mother, tears in her eyes, begged me to stop wasting my life on something so unrealistic. But I couldn't stop. I had this burning inside of me, a calling that refused to die. I poured everything into learning about ecology, soil regeneration, reforestation, things they scoffed at, things they ridiculed behind my back. I worked 2 jobs, saved every penny, and spent countless nights reading in the dim light of a second-hand lamp. I was mocked endlessly, told I'd never succeed, that I was doomed to fail and embarrass the family. So when I finally bought a piece of neglected land, completely barren, nothing but dust and weeds, I knew I was on my own. I left home with nothing but a battered backpack, a handful of hopes, and a stubborn refusal to give up. I remember the first year, how every seed I planted seemed to wither, how the drought drained my hope. But I kept going. I learned from failures, adapted, persisted. Slowly, stubbornly. Life started to take root. I built irrigation systems, introduced native plants, fought against the relentless droughts and storms. Years turned into a decade, and what was once a wasteland transformed into a thriving, vibrant forest. And then the moment came. I became recognized, not just locally, but globally for my work. I developed sustainable methods that help barren lands bloom across drought-stricken regions. I spoke at conferences, published papers, won awards. The world saw what I saw from the very beginning, potential buried beneath dust, resilience waiting to be unleashed. I had proved everyone wrong. But I knew this day would come, the day I'd face my family again, not as the lost, mocked boy, but as someone who had proven himself beyond any doubt. And I decided to do it on my own terms. I returned to my hometown, not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence. I wanted them to see what I had become, not just in words, but in reality. The house was just as I remembered. A tired, aging structure with peeling paint. I knocked, my heart pounding in my chest. My mother answered, her eyes widening in shock, then quickly narrowing with suspicion. My father emerged behind her, squinting hard as if I were some ghost from a nightmare. "Mom, Dad," I started, voice steady but loaded with emotion. "It's been a long time." They looked at me, hesitant, unsure whether to embrace or reject me. When I finally stepped inside, the living room was silent, the air thick with unspoken memories. Then I led them outside. What they saw was not just a forest. What they saw was proof. Trees towered where dust once reigned. The ground was thick with greenery, a tapestry of life where only despair had existed before. Birds chirped. Bees buzzed, and the scent of fresh earth filled the air, a symphony of success, a testament to relentless hope. I turned to face them, my eyes shining with quiet triumph. "I did this," I said simply. "Every tree, every patch of green. I built this from nothing. All your doubts, your ridicule, they only fueled my fire. I wanted to prove that even the smallest seed of hope if nurtured with perseverance, can grow into something unstoppable. My father's jaw tightened. My mother's eyes welled with tears. They looked at the landscape, at what I had created with my own hands, against all odds, and finally, the silence broke. You really did it, my father muttered, voice hoarse. Yeah, I said, feeling the weight of years lift from my shoulders. I did. In that moment, I saw something shift in them. Regret, perhaps, or acknowledgement of the truth they'd refused to see for so long. They were witnesses to the power of perseverance, to the fact that dreams rooted in genuine passion can defy every expectation. I turned back to the thriving forest, feeling the warmth of the sun on my face, knowing I'd finally arrived at the destination I'd fought so hard to reach. This wasn't just about land or success. It was about proving that resilience, belief, and unwavering commitment can turn even the most barren wasteland into a lush paradise. And in that truth, I found my redemption. Because here's what I learned. No matter how loud the doubts, how fierce the ridicule, if you stay true to your purpose, your effort will speak louder than any words of contempt. Success isn't just about the destination. It's about the relentless pursuit, the refusal to give up, and the courage to stand tall against every storm. So to anyone listening, if you're struggling with a dream that others call ridiculous, remember this. Your perseverance is shaping your future, even when the world refuses to see it. Keep planting those seeds. Keep fighting. One day, they'll witness the forest you've grown, and they'll have no choice but to acknowledge your victory. Because that's the real karma, the universe's way of balancing the scales. And trust me, it always does.